that pretty much means that this Jakiro can just never really use Ice Puff. Because as soon as you give that away to a Rubik, it is absolutely devastating. There's like 0 cast point.
Yeah.
It's like further range and everything. It is, very, very strong in the Rubik's hand. So, it's going to be a tough one here for the Jakiro.
And especially once you get the level 15 talent, 25% reduction in the cooldown. So you cast like something like every 7 seconds, I think.
Yeah.
It's absolutely wild how good this was. I think it's actually something less than 7 seconds. So it's insane. However, another thing that you're looking at is that you got Spirit Breaker, Rubik, Tusk, Mirana. These heroes have all mostly been supported. I know Tusk has now transitioned to the mid role, so, congratulations. But the other 3 heroes are typically seen as supports, and interesting. I'm guessing, I'm feeling like it's an offlane Spirit Breaker, or they could go crazy and put like Miracle on the Mirana, but core Mirana is very risky.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think it is going to be the core Spirit Breaker. So, and he'll be matched up versus the Nature's Prophet Jakiro combination. I don't think the Nature's Prophet really minds too much. I mean, obviously, if it is going to be the Spirit Breaker Mirana, they could potentially set up for arrows with the charge, but it is one of those combos which is slightly harder to pull off because you've got to account for the fact that the Spirit Breaker pushes them back as well, and also the fact that in that particular situation you can call it an unlucky bash, could then just push them even further out of the arrow. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one.
Dude, one of the worst parts of playing Spirit Breaker is that you can actually bash people out of Kinetic Field, out of Mars Arena, up and down cliffs. Like, there is a lot of times when you're like, no, stop, not now. Like, just disable them. But there comes the Leshrac, and I gotta say, man, this Myth Avenue Gaming draft, it is very surprising. I'm thinking, like, is it, like, I guess, I don't know, like, I'm feeling now, is it off-lane Leshrac, is it mid Leshrac? It feels like probably you can flex either Tusk or Leshrac depending on the matchup, but the other 3 heroes, none of the heroes really suits as a carry. Like, I've seen her on a carry, I get it, but I'm not a believer.
I think in this particular situation, I feel like the Leshrac is probably going to be the position one, because you'll have the Tusk Pangolier matchup in the mid lane, which I think the Tusk is fine with. And yeah, maybe the idea is just to get the Leshrac as beefy as possible to then, like, if he gets jumped on by the Riki and caught in the cloud, he'll have, like, potentially an early BKB and could just carry on running around, maybe. But yeah, it's not very clear with this Myth Avenue draft whatsoever. They're trying something new by the looks.
Another issue that I'm glad you mentioned, Derek, because I was thinking about, but if you look at Myth Avenue's draft, they don't have great 4-staff buyers, right? Like Spirit Breaker, let's assume he's a support. He's not a support. Doesn't buy 4-staff. Mirana and Rubik can, but they're generally, either the Mirana usually goes for auras and like your Scepter, Rubik goes for like Blink, Aether Lens, Agam Scepter, and the shard. So it's not like these guys really want 4-staff. We'll have to start the game. They have amazing control. They have decent damage, especially magical. Their tower push, apart from the Leshrac, Leshrac gives them a lot of tower push as well. But I think Neon's draft just looks so much better, even with only 4 picks right now.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, one good thing about Avenue Gaming's draft is that every single one of those heroes does have a disable. So
yes,
that is quite nice to have in there. Yeah, so that could play a big part coming into this. Obviously, will depend on what Neon are going to grab as their final hero. 28 seconds of reserve time left to work with. And are you feeling this is a carry Nature's Prophet or offlane?
1 second. They like their global draft, so it really can go. I wonder if it'll go for offlane, honestly. But if you put it as a carry and you go up against like a Spirit Breaker and like some, they go for Doom.
There's the Doom.
Okay, so they go for the Doom. Okay.
Offlane, yeah, carry Nature's. All right.
Yeah, for Enryu on the Doom. Okay, that's interesting because I don't know how I feel about this Doom offlane pick. It's decent. Oh, by the way, is that a carry Spirit Breaker? I think that's a carry Spirit Breaker. That's Miracle on the Spirit Breaker. You guys, your eyes are not fooling you guys. It is him, and Zeal is going to be the offlane Tusk, the mid Leshrac. Carry Spirit Breaker. Wow. Oh. Oh
That
my.
well, talking about breaking the meta, they are trying something miles out of the box right now, and we'll see how this ends up panning out. I'm quite intrigued to see how it's going to fare moving into sort of like the mid to late portions of the game. But I mean, as it stands at the moment, going to be laning versus the Doom and Ricky combo,
Mm,
which I think he's fine with, to be honest. He should
for
be able
sure,
to
yeah.
get his farm going on quite nicely. Um, yeah, that is going to be interesting. Maybe it's like try and counter the global presence of Fortune Soul, like just constantly charge at this enemy position one Nature's Prophet, and just relentlessly look for kills.
I love it. I love that. I don't know if it'll work or not, but I love it because it's new, right? Like I love
Mm.
when teams are like, "Here's we go. We're gonna go something crazy. We don't care. It's gonna be carry Spirit Breaker. Suck it. We don't mind." Is it? But it is. Yeah, it does. You are going to be up against global presence, so that makes the Doom. Sorry, the Spirit Breaker have a little bit more value, which I like. But I don't know if you're going to be always available to save, allies against the Ricky or the Nature's Prophet. Like you're gonna need level 20 to get that extra speed talent that you kind of need. I don't. I don't know. I also be. What if he does something else? What if he doesn't go for these items and he goes for like Echo Saber, BKB, Assault Cuirass, and he just bashes people till tomorrow, right? Like he goes just right clicking them all the time. So he has options in both. In both. I don't know. I like it. I love it. I'm just excited to see how it goes. I have no prediction on this one. Overall, I think Neon's draft is better just because it's normal. But this Myth Avenue draft is full of question marks. Like we have no idea how
Yeah,
good it can be.
yeah, definitely. To be honest, I think I'm sort of leaning towards Myth Avenue myself. Like, I think it's just this.
Traitor,
Pardon?
traitor.
Traitor?
Yeah.
No. It is literally all about the fact that they have just a million stuns. Like they've got so much, and plus the fact that all of their disable, none of it is to do with ultimates or anything like that. It is all just standard skills, so it's going to be short cooldowns. If there is going to be a 5-on-5 fight, Neon, they may have to try and get some early BKBs because I could just see them getting, just crowd control to the ends of the earth, and then the Leshrak's just going to be running around burning everyone with all the magic damage, whilst Miracle just becoming this sort of pseudo tank carry build. Yeah, like I assume that's sort of what he's going to go for here. I do quite like it. Obviously, though, if Neon do manage to get the jump onto Myth Avenue, land the Doom on towards the Leshrak at the very start, it could be over before it even begins.
They do have good BKB piercing on Myth Avenue. You gotta say, right? Like the Spirit Breaker, all of his abilities pierce BKB. You can if you get an aggressive, you can charge the guy. But if no, you can just charge the guy next to the BKB target, and you still Greater Bash him and Nether Strike and Walrus Punch. Like these are all really good abilities. You can steal Doom. Doom is a fairly easy ability to steal because oftentimes when you're playing Doom, you turn on the Scorched Earth and you blink in and you Doom someone.
Yeah,
So, unless you have another active ability, it's relatively easy to steal the Doom as a Rubik. It's not the hardest ability. And if not, you can just, you get Ice Path. That's BKB piercing, but again, like insane amounts of control from Myth Avenue. And Neon is slow. Doom is the Hand of Midas, Blink Dagger, BKB. I'm ready to fight now, baby, kind of hero. So,
yeah,
uh, I
yeah.
guess.
It'd be interesting to see. Yeah, you can't really tell who's going to excel early on in this game. It does feel quite evenly based.
Mm.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, like you were saying with the fact that the Doom is really easy to steal, I think Hated or the Jakiro is just going to be watching that Doom. As soon as he sees his ultimate used and the Rubik go for the steal, that is probably when he's going to be forced to use the Ice Path. It's like, I don't know which one's worse. Like, would you rather a Rubik steal Doom or have Ice Path with short cooldown, longer stun duration, zero cast point? Like, what do you feel is actually more deadly in the grand scheme of things?
Honestly, I think that is way worse. Like way worse to give him Ice Path than to give him Doom because
Mm,
sometimes a lot of times you might Doom the target and they're just kind of fine. Like if you Doom Ricky, he can walk out. Pago might be rolling. Nature's Prophet, he's like maybe his range. It's not too bad. Like it's weird to say, but getting doomed is more acceptable than getting Ice Path 3-4 times in multiple people in the fight every time. So it's not fun. Neither situation is fun, but I think I'd rather give him the Doom than give him the Ice Path. Plus, it's like such a long cooldown anyway, so it's just gonna get one Doom off. Maybe the guy runs away or just dies instantly. You're like, all right, that threat's gone. But he takes Ice Path. That thing's gonna be a nightmare for the next 3, 4, 5 minutes.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm sure that's going to be Kishka's #1 priority in this fight. He just never takes his eyes off the Jakiro, just waiting in the trees for that spell to be used, and then he can actually start popping off in these fights.
I'll take that. A foregone
And
conclusion.
okay, Enryu's back, and we can finally get game #1 to here on the way for day #4 of the BTS Pro Series SEA 14. And let's see who's going to be able to take this one. Obviously, Neon starting off with a smoke, but it doesn't look like they're moving as a full 5-man unit. It's just to get out there, get those wards down faster. So I don't think we're going to be treated to any sort of potential first blood gank.
Very scary draft from Mammoth Avenue if you want to take a fight level 1, right? Like you got Tusk, Spirit Breaker, very tanky. You got Leshrac, everyone's got a stun like we mentioned. And you look at Neon, it's like, oh, listen, we got Ricky and we got Duo with like maybe Devour, and they just like these guys level 1 are kind of a joke, honestly. So yeah, the more I look at Mammoth Avenue, the more I get kind of convinced like maybe this could really work. You know, so much disables, the lane phase looks decent, and you know, Nature's Prophet, Doom take well. I want to say I'm 50-50, man, because I don't want to agree with you, but
30 seconds.
I'm not as convinced as I was when I picked Neon. I'm still with Neon, though. I'm still with. They like my tweets, so I'm biased towards them.
Ah, there you go. That's it. Favoritism.
That's
always
that's
going
exactly
to
how
be
it
the clincher.
works.
Every 50-50 is always going to be broken by whoever is nicer. Can't
Right?
argue
It's
that.
like, well, I mean, why they sometimes, you know, they give me the heart. More hearts is more good, right? So that's how it works for me.
That is very, very true. Looks like Neon going to be able to bully the Mirana away from this top bounty. So again, going to be the standard 2-for-2 split. No advantage gained whatsoever in the start of this series. So who are you favouring in the Pangolier Leshrac matchup here in the mid?
Pangolier suffer a little bit, honestly. You know, just the multiple, either the Edict or the Lightning. So like he's gonna, so not Edict, sorry, Split Earth. He's gonna have to dodge them. It's not gonna be the most fun thing for him. So I do think Ken might suffer just a little bit in this lane. And in the range melee matchup, you know, melee oftentimes you have the advantage in last hitting, but range you have the advantage in harassing. And so yeah, I would favor XC Learn. But once level 6 hits, Ken should be able to rotate and be a little bit more effective in that category.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So Exilum did get the favourable block, but as a result now he's going to have this pretty massive wave pushing in. So it might be a little bit awkward for Ken to get some of the CS once it pushes underneath the tower. It's always hard securing those last hits against the tower when you're still like level 1. Might be level 2 by the time, but yeah, maybe going to be a slight challenge for him.
And well, it's not too bad, right? Like he's gonna get some. He'll get some of this. I say that and he's like sitting at 1. There you go. He just doubled his CS, and there. That's what we want. But meanwhile, top lane, it's going to be actually Hated went top. By the way, they decided to put the Jakiro top with the Doom, and that's actually pretty scary, right? Like Miran is gonna have a tough time going up against these two guys. Walk in. There's a Scorched Earth. There's a Dual Breath. Miran doesn't have a whole ton of health. She went for 4 Iron Branch, so she's a little bit more durable than the standard Mirror, but overall, Miracle's not going to have like the great bodyguard for him in this lane.
No, that is very true. Especially when you consider, I'm pretty sure Dual Breath is still one of the highest damage output skills level 1 in the game. Well, they have to set up for a nice combination there. Charge into the arrow with a bash on top of it. Hated taking a heck of a beating, forced to use the Fairy Power to stay alive. Can the Mirani actually get close enough? Needs a couple more hits. But it doesn't look like they're going to be able to get it. But regardless, you know, that is some very nice damage done there towards the Jakiro. Force a bit more of his regen out. And even now I'm going to bully Enryu. Another charge lands with a bash on top and an arrow. Starform coming in. This Doom is taking quite a lot of damage. In comes Hated though with the support. Lands the dual rep on towards the Mirana. A lot of dot damage coming in, but he can't overextend too much. Miracle is on his case. He's got charge up in just 1 second's time. Who's he going to go for? He's going to go straight onto the Jakiro. Bash is there. Enryu now in danger himself. No mana left for the Mirana to land an arrow, but regardless, Miracle having a fantastic start now as a result.
Yeah, the carry Spirit Breaker is working so far. I was looking at the defensive aspect. I thought maybe Avenue would suffer, but look at the other side. They have also incredible offensive power, right? Like you mentioned, landing the arrow with the Spirit Breaker can be a bit iffy just because you might accidentally bash them away, but it's been working out for them. Hated lost so much resources, kind of wanted to stay around, not leave his lane, but it didn't end up working for them. Now, though, Miracle is soloing. He's lost about 1/3 of his health, while VVV, Miran, I'm just going to call Miran the whole game,
Yeah.
pulls for his team.
Yeah, it was very good. I think it's got to consider as well the fact. I think the only reason they got those kills was Miracle bashed twice, which is pretty damn lucky. There's a lot of times when you're playing Spirit Breaker and you can't just help but shout into the game, just like bash, bash. And I think he did it just loud enough that it finally worked.
Gaben was like, all right, he deserves it. He deserves this one. Check out what Doom took, by the way. He went to the Ogre Frost Mage, has the 5 or armor, or so not aura, but ability. It's fairly cheap as well, and slows people down. So it's a very nice, one of the nicer abilities to have early game. Although, of course, the mana issue is gonna hit Doom a little bit, but it's not too bad because, like, you see Mirana, when she hits him, she's like, yeah, I'm literally doing no damage now.
Yeah, it's quite nice. Especially, I think there's the added benefit as well that once the Spirit Breaker hits the armor, he is slowed, and then the Greater Bash damage is actually reduced because he's then moving slower at the same time. So
that is true.
Yeah,
right, yeah.
Bit of extra value out of it. It could be a 300 IQ pickup there for Enryu going for the old Frost armor.
I wonder if that's like really, or it was just like armor, good. This ability, you know, I want armor. This gives me armor. Speaking of though, bottom lane, yeah, you can't do too much as a Riki in the very early laning phase, especially not with the Nature's Prophet. So Zeal is getting decent farm here. 22 CS at this moment. Like, definitely, like I said, this laning phase is working out really well for Myth Avenue. Although Zeal takes a bit of damage here.
Yeah, just getting poked at. I mean, Tsukimo has to be a little bit careful he doesn't overextend because the Rubik and Tusk can definitely do a lot of hurt onto him if he steps out of position too far. But yeah, Fortune Soul's doing fine as well, 26 and 8 at this point. Obviously, some of those denies are going to be the Treants, so it's not like quite an accurate representation of how well he's doing. But regardless, I think he's going to be perfectly fine with how the start is proceeding. The mid lane as well, very even on CS, 33 and 2 to the 31 and 4. Just Ken barely ahead, but he is now out of regen. Bottle is empty, half HP, no mana to work with. Meanwhile, Exilem feeling pretty comfortable in the position he's in.
They might need to rotate people to allow the Pangolier for Ken to refill his bottle, but he is level 6 in under 6 minutes. You know, he's actually a little tiny bit ahead, but Exiler's gonna hit 6 right now, so it's gonna be fine. But now he can actually rotate. It's a bit tough though, you know, Spirit Breaker can charge away, there's a Snowball, there's Mirana Leap, like it's not the easiest rotations to make if you're Ken, but you know, he's still a Pangolier, he should be able to make some space for his team.
Yeah, definitely true. And he was just forced to run all the way back to base there, so do you think he's going to TP to a side lane, look for a gank, or just going to run straight back to mid to carry on the farm? It looks like.
And he answers the question. You know, I'm glad he did that because I was about to say, no, of course he's going to rotate, but his team needs him, but it's Exiler's actually moving around the map, and he's going to show up top with a double damage ruin.
That's pretty nice. Hated going to be the one that gets ran into straight away there. Ice Path just trying to lay up the charge coming from Miracle. This is a very low HP Spirit Breaker, just setting up for the stun there of the Leshrac. And they're going to be able to burn down this Doom with relative ease. I mean, actually a lot of damage there onto Exilern coming in from the Nature's ultimate. But regardless, double kill for the Leshrac. Catapult wave here as well, so this tier 1 tower is going to take a bit of a beating.
And unfortunately, it's not like you can have some guy who can rotate turns around, right? Like, if Ricky shows up, he's really not going to be able to do too much. It's the Jakiro, you know, Hated, who's the sort of big impact if he rotates in bottom lane. Oh, dear, Fortune Soul's in trouble.
He's in some real danger right now. Charge coming through, so they got
nice
the permanent vision on him. Ice Shard's perfectly there. They've got to be careful that the bash doesn't push him over, but not quite going to happen. Another kill there for Exilern, and they defend their tier 1 tower as well, because that also was taking quite a whack from the Catapult and Treants. So just good rotations here from Myth Avenue, making sure that they're constantly harassing the lines of Neon Esports. And even Kishka moved himself into the mid lane to pick up that dead sort of XP as the Leshrac was away.
I mean, even though the score is 4-0, it's a little misleading. Myth Avenue is not that far ahead, right? Only Exilern's really farming that well. Ken's right behind him, and the other 2 cores, they are, you know, behind all the cores of Neon. So these rotations are sort of needed to actually like get these lanes a little bit back in their favor. So it's not.
I say, you see the way that Miracle's playing as well. He's just constantly charging people. He was just charging at Ken just then. Like, this is not how a position 1 traditionally plays this game. Like, he's got level 6 just hits that threshold, and all he's really cared about now is rotating, looking for kills. There's going to be haste rune there as well. He doesn't pick it up though, lets it get bottled away. Can they actually burst down Ken before he activates the haste rune? No, they can't. A bit of a mistake there for Miracle, and the ultimate comes in from the Natures, doing a lot of damage. Telekinesis is there. Ken overstepped his mark. At the very least, they get the counter kill onto Learn, and that is a dominating kill spree as well, so it's a sizable chunk of money. But that wouldn't have happened if they didn't let that haste rune get taken away.
Yeah, I mean, because he was using Nether Strike, right? Like he had him stunned. He used the Nether Strike. You could cancel it at any point to take it. Then he'd have done more damage because more attack speed, right? BluScale. But he wasn't quite thinking with the 300 IQ just yet, and unfortunately, he's going to go for, by the way, the Echo Saber on Spirit Break. So I was wondering, is he going to go for like, more benefit out of the charge with the Aghanim Scepter? But no, he's going to go for more benefit out of the Greater Bash, trying to get that to proc as often as possible with an Echo Saber. It's interesting. I guess he might disassemble it into a BKB and something else later, but
His possibilities are there, but it feels like his sort of farm progression is definitely suffering, obviously making all these aggressive moves, and actually Doom now gets dropped on him at the top lane there. He gets on the tier 1 tower, TP rotation's coming in. They just can't get on top of it. Even the Rolling Thunder was committed there from Ken, but like you said, the Invis, they can't spot anybody. Zeal does get spotted out from the Sentry Ward, and now they've got all the traps on towards the Pangolier, locking him in place. Arrow lands, and Ken gets dropped. So an attempt there from Neon to take down the enemy carry completely backfires. Two pretty, sizable cooldown ultimates used, and then we get a single thing out of it.
Yeah, that is pretty rough for Neon. However, we're 10 minutes in, and you can look at it, it's like barely any net worth advantage. Oh, and it looks like Zeal wants to find someone here, and Miracle's charging as he usually does.
Yeah, going on Tsukimo, doesn't even get there fast enough for any sort of kill credit, but the thought was there. That's what he's doing. Yeah, he currently is bottom farmed of all the cores. Like, just playing this hyper aggressive style means he's definitely suffering in the item progression.
Actually, that's one of the cool things about Doom is that if you charge someone no matter what, if they die and while you're charging, you get the assist bounty.
Oh, do you?
So you do. I play Doom quite a lot. So you can be on the other side of the map as long as you charge them. You get that 30, 40 extra gold from assisting. So it's always worth it to charge people. If you think about that, of course you should do it just because you provide vision for your team. But I just do it so I can get more gold, honestly.
Yeah, that's pretty cool actually. Yeah, you learn something new every day. Yep, able to take down that tier 1 tower at the top, bringing 4 heroes to the party, and Myth Avenue, not interested at all in trying to keep that one going. But still the score 1 for 7 at 11 minutes in. Less than 1k gold advantage though, so feels dead even this game.
This Ken gonna be okay.
He's with the Royal Thunder, he's trying to get himself away. The charge is coming in though from Miracle. What actually lands first? I think it's the Royal Thunder here. Oh, it's the exact same time! Oh, that's so unlucky there for Ken. Miracle picking up a free kill for him. And maybe now they might try and pressure in the tier 1 tower in the mid. Never mind, actually, mass TPs towards the bottom. They're trying to get Fortune Soul. The Ice Pop actually misses, and that could cost the Nature's Prophet his life right now. Punch lands in for the arrow. There is no place to go here for the Nature's Prophet. I mean, it's actually pretty tanky. Manages to get the ultimate off the lead, but it doesn't matter. Miracle, the charge in Space Cow, getting the hit onto the hero. And 2 people dead there for Neon Gaming. And their tier 1 tower at the bot lane should end up falling down after this. They do have the catapult and even the Leshrac coming in with max Diabolic Edict.
By the way, Zeal, he's got Hand of Midas queued up on the Tusk, on this offlane Tusk. That is going to be interesting to see for sure if he goes for it. A Miracle, very close to finishing out the Echo Saber. And despite all that, like, there are good things happening from Myth Avenue, right? They got the mid tier 1, they got the bottom tier 1. Their tier, most of the, like, they haven't lost except only their top first tower. However, for Neon, you're gonna get the IM shot on the Riki very soon. And Doom, he's got the Hand of Mice, so he's gonna start scaling really fast. Despite everything, I'm not feeling this 2k gold advantage much from Myth Avenue. Maybe that's my bias speaking though. We'll find out. We'll find out if I'm a prophet or a fool real soon.
Yeah. Let's see how it ends up panning out. Did see Tsukimo there taking away a few of the creeps from Enryu, but I think that, I don't think that was a grief CS stealing. Is like, he sees that the Riki is struggling for gold and he wants to make sure he gets that Aghanim Shard online straight on the 15-minute mark. So it's good just to, you know, let his support get that bit of extra gold. That's something that's very, very hard to do in your pubs, because as soon as the support takes away a creep from a core, you know, that's when the pings start happening and items get deleted. Ooh, stolen Macropire coming up from Kishka. Yeah, that Enryu just gets burned to a crisp.
I love the green flame. It looks really good. And the nice thing about Miracle is they actually pushed him into it. Not that they needed it. Like, I think Enryu was dead to rights, but he dies just as the Hand of Midas comes off cooldown. Worst feeling the mode. Meanwhile, mid lane, dude, he is super active on the Spirit Breaker.
Excellent. Already got the Bloodstone up, so he just feels so tanky and durable to keep running in. Charge, though, will land on towards Tsukimoto. Macropie gets stolen away again, so that's a fresh charge from Chica. They got the kill on towards the Rubik already. This Rolling Thunder with the Ice Path just controlling Miracle to the ends of the earth. There's no way out for the Spirit Breaker at all. The Leshrak's still nearby. Doom is coming in with the ultimate ready. They're going to turn around. They've got the initial stun onto him, punched up into the sky. Can they get the Doom off? No, he cannot. He ends up dropping down. Small victory for Myth Avenue. Maybe they can end up taking down the Rubik. He's juking throughout the tree. It's actually the Invis from the Moonlight Shadow. They have no detection for him. Meanwhile, Exilern just running down Fortune Soul. It's going to be a dead Nature's Prophet. The Jakiro already losing his life. And Ken just has to run away. He does find a regen rune at least. Can the Mirana just cancel it out? But Ken can pop it at a safer location.
This is the second fight in a row where detection really ended up screwing Neon. The first one was the top lane where they actually get a Doom on Spirit Break, but no detection. This one just the same thing. Like Avivi was just able to walk out there. So Kishka was able to walk out of the thanks to the Moonlight Arrow. It's gonna land on Tsukimoto. What a bodyguard! What a bro!
Yeah, tanking those arrows for his team, very, very good. Yeah, I think Hated did actually have dust in that fight, but it was in his backpack. Like, he had the Smoke with Deceit in his inventory instead, so maybe just a little bit of a mistake in the plan in front. Meanwhile, Ice Path has been stolen now. They got that's something that Neon have to be extremely careful about. At least it is only level 2 at this stage, but even still, that's a very deadly skill.
And there's nothing Hate can do about it, right? It's like eventually he's gonna get it, no matter what you do. And it's not like the other spells are bad, right? Dual Breath is pretty damn amazing. It's a 400 damage spell on 10-second cooldown, and with a slow. So it's one of those problems that, like, no matter what, Rubik's gonna be happy when he steals from you. And Tsukimoto is massively behind on the shot. He might be losing his life again.
He's gonna try his best to get on out, but it's not gonna happen. Oh, the arrow actually misses there. And that's just gonna allow Tsukimoto to walk away. What a mistake.
The bash!
Mid-front, yeah. The power of the bash. You know, the bash giveth and the bash taketh away.
But somehow we haven't seen an effective Doom come out. We saw one come out top lane, but it doesn't matter. The second one just died while he was trying to cast it. So maybe he'll be able to get something on Zeal here. But overall, Enryu content to farm right now. Not too far from the Black King bar. Just needs about the recipe away, and then he should be fine. That'll help a lot, you know, because it's a lot of magic damage from Myth Avenue Rubik. Starfall from Mirana, everything from Leshrak basically, so having a Doom BKB would help you a ton.
Yeah, that is the key. As long as you can get that skill off, they can potentially take a decent fight. Although,
lane.
In comes Myth Avenue, trying to go for the grab there on Tenryu. Rolling Thunder has been used, and Doom dropping everything on top of the tusk. Even Macropire, 3 ultimates dumped onto his face right now, but in comes the rest of Myth Avenue to potentially turn this whole fight around. Enryu get controlled up, the charge is coming in from Miracle. Meanwhile, Exilern just running down Ken, this haste rune, no chance to escape whatsoever, and the Doom gonna fall as well. So Myth Avenue are extremely happy with that turn of events. Sure, they lose their offlaner, but he tanks 3 ultimates, and they still managed to kill the enemy offlaner and mid.
It's another great trade for them. So, you know, it's a little bit, Leon, they get a nice kill out of it, killing the enemy, the enemy off him, but it's like, yeah, so what? He's usually more farmed than the standard Tusk offlane, because thanks to that Hand of Midas. So he's like, oh wait, the enemy offlane got it, I'm allowed. You know, it's like, why can't I get it? So, I imagine that's what Tusk is feeling. It's like, hey, listen, Enryu got it, I'm allowed to have one too. Oh, top lane, Enryu. Lucky that TP was a long one, otherwise Excellent would have stunned him with the Edict.
Yeah. So that is one of the most infuriating things when you try and set up for a stun when someone's TPing. It's like, there's just no way to know if it's a long TP or not. So yeah, very unfortunate there for Exilern, but hey, bit of serendipity there for Neon. If they sustain even more losses, this game could start getting out of hand. I mean, he's already 3 for 17, 4,000 gold lead. It looks like we might get another fight here at the top. Exeter running straight in towards Ken. Oh, but just burned away, doing so much damage. Arrow nearly gets the connection, but even still, with the Macropole on top of the Leshrac, doesn't really get hurt that much as he had the Bloodstone activated. And they're just going to straight up TP out.
I think that's a BKB coming out for Enryu, and there's the sleeping dart.
There you go. Mera presents a real danger. All the spells get dumped on top. No help from a mile around, and that is a dead spirit breaker for sure. But to be honest, I don't think he even really cares. At the moment, he sort of feels like a second position 3, right? And the main carry for Myth Avenue is just Exilern on the Leshrac. So it's all down to him to actually do the damage in these fights and bring people down. Meanwhile, the Tusk and Spirit Breaker both just have to run interference, constantly stun people up, and just make space in general for the Lesh.
Oh, Ice Path Stone again.
Again, yeah, there is going to be a Sleeping Dart at least, but can he at least get the spell? No, he can't. Forstaff gets himself out of the range of the smoke screen. Going to toss the Doom back on into the Ice Path. It actually times out just before it lands. But regardless, everyone's still alive. Exil. Zil going to jump forwards. Got the connection on towards Hated. Dropping all the spells. Doom lands again onto Tusk. But there's going to be the Ice Path once more. Doom gets stolen this time round. Dropped immediately on towards the Doom himself. And can they get the Tusk out? Dot damage might have been enough to actually bring him down, so he should be able to survive. Meanwhile, here is the Leshrac trying to do as much damage as possible. Kent, targeted by the charge. Swashbuckle as well stolen away. They're going to carry on pursuing after the Pangolier arrow lands. He is dead. Unfortunately, the Sleeping Dart from Tsukimo could not make a difference. Though, nice little bottleneck here. Macropire lands with the Glepnir. Shishka taking a lot of dot damage. One more jump from Tsukino will get the kill, but it's going to cost him his life if he does. He decides against it.
Unfortunately, Enryu wasn't able to get that BKB off in time. I think he had an option, but felt very confident he was going to survive. And of course, this is what we said, right? It's super easy to steal Doom as a Rubik. Like, if you're an experienced Rubik player, you'll be like, yeah, I can get it. And Kishka goes for the Force Staff. We talked about how it's kind of annoying. Like, Rubik and Miran aren't exactly typical Force Staff buyers. They can get its decent item all the time, but in this game, Kishka's like, yeah, I need the Force Staff, so I love this move that he's going for, just to save allies. And did save him just now from the smoke screen. So really good movement by them. And Neon, it's 4-19, 6,000 gold advantage for Myth Avenue. They're hanging on, but at some point, you're like, once those tiers 2 start dropping, you really need to start taking these fights.
Yeah, it's just going to progressively get worse and worse unless they can start turning some things around. Tsukimo trying to get the kill there on towards the Mirana, but easy usage of the mechanism, getting him nice and safe. Zeal just charging through with the snowball, land stun onto 3, dropping the spells on towards Exilern as well with the Bloodstone. He's healing up continuously. He's getting low, he's controlling up the Ice Shards, actually getting the stun connections from the Rolling Thunder, but it doesn't matter. Fortune Soul's already dead, and now the stolen Rolling Thunder from Kishka is doing so much work. And Neon, they lose absolutely everybody. Myth Avenue, not a single person dropping.
My God, maybe Myth Avenue should be the one liking my tweets instead. Oh, they are. Yeah, that was just a disaster. There's no way to There's no other way to say it. That was an absolute disaster. Maybe once the BKB comes out, Fortune Soul, he could stand and fight. But again, you're up against Spirit Breaker as well as Tusk. These are heroes that don't care too much about the BKB. And yeah, Spirit Breaker, he disassembled the Echo Saber to make the BKB himself. He's got an Oblivion Staff. Maybe he's going to go for Orchid. I don't think that there's anything else you could really make for, or maybe another. You go back and say, I want another Echo Saber. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but it is tough right now for Neon. They have this pick-off draft with the Ricky and the Nature's Prophet, and they have not been getting. They've been getting picked off clean this game.
Yeah, every single move they've tried to make, they've just been countered again and again. It's literally just all looking like Myth Avenue in this first game of this best of 2 series, and yeah, like you were saying with the BKBs. Maybe that was the whole point of this draft. Like, you pick up the Leshrac, someone that you have to build a BKB against or you get destroyed, but then you pick 2 other cores which do not care about it whatsoever. So it's like, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. You commit a lot of gold to counter one hero, but it is completely dead and wasted against the other 2 cores that you have to try and deal with. And yeah, it just seems to be working out flawlessly right now.
Luckily for them, Exilern decided to go bottom to farm rather than push that tier 2 tower, because that would have been a dead tier 2. There's no cores up for 20 seconds, but Exilern's like, guys, come on. Let's not beat them too quickly now. But still, I mean, despite the 96% win rate for Myth Avenue Gaming, once the BKBs come out from Neon, And you look at their damage; it's not exactly incredible burst damage, right? Like Leshrac is a lot of his damage over time. So if you can get a pipe and the BKB is off on Neon, you're gonna be a little bit okay. I don't know though. It's been a disaster for them every fight. And there's an Ice Path.
Again, he's used the Ice Buff to
He's-
scout the high ground ward. He's not even going to get the kill onto it. And just another death for him. Another extremely strong spell there for Kishka, who now also has a Blink Dagger picked up. It's just so many ways now for Myth Avenue to get on top of the vulnerable people of Neon. I don't know, is there any sort of like sequence of plays that Neon could do to try and turn this whole thing around?
Yes. I mean, they could just get a Doom off on the Rubik. Then I think they can take a fight. Leshrac, if you can control him before he gets a Bloodstone, that would be nice, but that's not easy. Enryo is being charged up, and the rest of the team is falling. They're smoked up. They're gonna get there, but they've run into Ken first.
Yeah, trying to intercept Miracle there. Ice Path not going to land, but Tsukimoto, unfortunately for him, he's going to get caught. One punch to the back of the head, and Zeal takes him down. And they are actually pinging at Enryu as well. He's going for the TP. Is there any cancel in time, Zeal? Oh, it's a long TP!
Oh, there!
Oh! Zeal is Snowball still on cooldown. That's so lucky for him. Meanwhile, though, the fight carry on's happening. BKB is active with Enryu, but the charge of Miracle getting the connection on towards Ken as well. Can they burst him? Telekinesis out. He is dead again. Excellent on a godlike spree now. It's just all Myth Avenue not stopping. Now they're going to find more. Zeal just marching towards 50 hit bits. Picks up hated. Tier 2's going to fall. And I think that should probably be the time where they clear this first Roshan.
Yep. I mean, what's stopping you, right? You have the Tusk with the tag team. You know, your physical damage is not the heaviest, but Tusk was just more than enough to make sure that you guys get it. And dear God, look at top lane by Nature's Prophet.
Kishka just constantly harassing him, technically sort of holding him in place, allowing his team to come on in. And it's all perfectly executed. Fortune Soul, 5th death of the game for him. And he's still trying to build his BKB as well. He's still 1,000 gold off.
Ouch! Myth Avenue. It is definitely feeling like the 98% chance of victory for them. Enryu getting, by the way, I think he's been charged like 3 times when he's standing on this ward. He's getting charged. Zeal's going to show up. There's no BKB. He can't TP out either, just because this is going to be pretty painful for Enryu right now.
Yeah. Just going to get controlled. Is there any sort of thing he can do? No, he cannot. Another death. I mean, if Zeal went for the standard Desolator build on Tusk, he would actually have quite a lot of charges by now. But it doesn't matter. He went for the more utility team fight base build, getting that BKB, which is obviously working out very nicely.
Yeah, the casual had to buy this along the way, right? Like, guys. Just to clear out the treants, they're a bit annoying, so I'm gonna get hand of bias to it. Like, all right, sure, if you want to. What a stomp so far. I just gotta say what it is. It's very much a stompy game in terms of Myth Avenue. The non-stop Miracle charges has been working out for them. He is more farmed than the Doom. The Hand of Maya's Doom. There's not like a Doom that is like, oh my, he's going for these shivers. Like, he's went for Hand of Maya's Doom, and he's behind Miracle. Ken has also completely fallen off in his net worth, barely ahead of Kishka, who might be able to overtake him. It's a nightmare scenario for Neon Esports. I'm trying to think of a way for them to come back, but remember, even split pushing is risky. You're up against a Spirit Breaker, so very tough for Nature's Prophet to play.
Yeah, I mean they're attempting something now, going for this 4-man smoke, running through the mid. Obviously, Fortune Soul can join at a moment's notice with his teleport skill. Looks like they're trying to bait out this mid. Who's going to show himself? It's Zeal. It's not really the most juicy of targets, but they might just be forced to take what they can get right now. And they drop the sleeping dart, but no one actually wants to push forward. He's still got a stolen ice pop. Actually, it's about to time out there for Kishka. He's going to have to get a new spell momentarily. But regardless, Neon now deciding to change targets, heading down towards the bottom where they might bump into Miracle. But again, just like the Tusk, it's a very, very hard kill to find.
And the scan comes out just in time. And look at them. They're all showing up to help him out, smoked up, and with the moonlight. So they're going to be up and be there. And just like, Ken, make it out of this with no loss. Maybe Hayden will be like, you know what? Can make it out. He really needs to Tsukimoto already falls, though.
Yeah, find him with the gem. Everyone else TPing away, and Ken just chilling in the trees. Obviously, his TP is still on cooldown for a few more seconds. But yeah, this is pretty damn dire right now. 18,000 gold at 26 minutes in, 4 to 31. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know if Neon pull off the best combination they possibly can. I don't know if they have the damage output to actually just kill everyone afterwards. Sure, they can probably get a burst onto one person, but there's just so many priority targets to contend with. Very, very difficult. Charge, though, coming top for Enryu. He hasn't got the read that this is happening right now. He's hiding himself into the trees, but unfortunately, that's not going to do anything whatsoever. He does manage to get the BKB off, but again, there's so many BKB piercing disables that it's not going to make any difference.
Oh, okay, he didn't get Doom. He was mid-animation of that Doom, by the way. I was like, is he really going to use it? Okay, so he's going to go for the Aether Lens now. And yep, you really, like, it's really, the BKB just doesn't feel like much of a BKB when you're being charged. You know, the fight start with you already stunned by like 2 seconds thanks to the charge. And then, and then what happens after that? You already use 2 seconds of your BKB, which is down to what, 6 for him? Down to 6, so.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
not good at all.
I do like what he's going for with the Yule Scepter. It doesn't, I think, completely dispels the bulldoze coming out from Spirit Breaker. So you can just throw him out in the air. He comes back and he's like, oh crap, I bulldoze, and it lasts the full duration, and of course stops the charge. So lots of positives with that pickup.
Yeah, it could definitely work. But again, like you're building items then to try and deal with the Leshrac, with the Spirit Breaker, sorry, but the Leshrac still just going to be doing whatever the hell he wants. It's just you try and counter one person, and there's 2 other heroes who just pick up the slack. Meanwhile, Stolen Rolling Thunder rolling through. Enryu is dead along with Ken. And this is just the 2 supports and the offlaner. The carry and mid nowhere to be seen, but they just decimated them with ease.
Fortune Soul. Look, they found him. There you go. Yeah, he's.
I don't even know how they knew he was there. They just found him.
Are you okay?
I mean, does he? I mean, he says this area is warded, and I think he's saying that area is warded as well. But I don't get how they could find him either. And dude, Enryu is 0 and 9 on the Doom, and check out the net worth difference between the supports and the enemies, like the Rain and Dire supports. 10,000, 8,000 to 5,000 and 4. Like, it is massive right now.
Yeah. So they've got an easy grab on towards the Ricky as well. Sleeping Dart stolen away. Not the most scary of skills, but that could be kind of cool for some even further setups. I mean, it's good arrow setup with the and Split Earth as well.
And the caster is just massive.
Yeah, that is very, very true. Jump forwards though. Zeo has got the connection towards Ken, just destroys him in seconds. He is dead. Kiro quickly following. Everyone jumping forwards. I think it's Doom got countered out by the Lincoln Sphere though. Even further disaster there for Neon. Multiple buybacks expended. They're trying to poke on towards Exilern right now, but he's a tanky boy. He's still got 3 minutes on the Aegis as well. And yeah, 1 Bloodstone usage. He's pretty back up to a full HP, full mana situation. Can start working on this second tier 3.
No Pangolier. They don't have Doom is used. Nature's Prophet is 4th highest net worth behind all the enemy cores. And there's a shard. I love the Leshrac shard. It's a lot of fun. And we went for the Split Earth Radius Taunt as well. So it's just these circles. How do you walk into them?
Yeah, just gotta try and watch your buildings die from afar. Got the grab as well onto Ken. Rolling Thunder stolen away once more here from Kishka. He's just picking up all the high priority kills. But Ken, he's tried his best to get away. He might just about make it to the fountain. Miracle though. He's getting controlled up, getting very low. In comes the Pangolin again to get the finishing touch onto the kill. They bring him down. Exilern also getting extremely low right now. Bloodstone's still on cooldown, but again, he's got the Aegis if he needs it. Not even be forced. Seal just jumping forwards again. Godlike spree for the Tusk now. Bloodstone back up with Exilern, healing up off of all the creeps. Still the tier 4 tower poking and prodding onto him. Ken jumping in quite aggressive. The shard's blocking from afar. Telekinesis lands and he gets burst out. Enryu tried to jump into the backlines to make space. All he does is die. I think Zeal just one-shot Tsukimoto right then. GG is called. Myth Avenue absolutely dismantle Neon here in this first game of the best of 2.
I don't know, man. I don't know how they can pull that off. It's 5 to 42. This is like, it's insane what they were able to do, Myth Avenue. They're 30,000 gold ahead in 30 minutes. So it's like every minute that was a 1,000 gold advantage for them. Miracle played really well with the Spirit Breaker, but The supports didn't die. Neither Kishka nor the Miran died.
Yeah.
Exxon went down once. Uh,
Yeah.
I just don't.
It
I don't know what to say.
very near flawless showing. Only a couple of times
Mm.
where they actually sustained any losses, but it just didn't seem to matter. Like the priority people just weren't really getting picked off. Sure, Miracle, the supposed position one, did die the
Mm.
most, but again, like I was saying earlier, he was sort of just a second offlaner. It was all about making
Yes.
space for Exilern, and yeah, it just seems absolutely flawless. So well played there to Myth Avenue Gaming taking game number 1, and oh, that was exciting. That's exactly what they needed as well. That is obviously their first point on the board
Yes.
for this tournament. Yeah, what do you think Neon can do in this next game to try and adjust?
I don't. I mean, I feel like you have to do. I mean, I don't know what they can do because this is one of those games where you walk and you say nothing worked. Not a single thing worked. Like we didn't get any good rotations from the Pangolier mid. We didn't get Enryu was walking Pinata. Like that's all he does. Like he walks and he gives them goal. He's 0-10. It's not no insult to the player, but that's what the fact is. The supports had no net worth. Like the enemy supports were doubling and in some cases tripling their net worth. We didn't see the carry do anything. It's like it's just everything needs to change. I mean, maybe it's a mentality. Maybe they're coming in not feeling them so well. Like how many fights lost because there was no detection as well? Like at least 2 instances they had a decent chance they could fight, but there was no detection at all. So I think you get in a group huddle and you're like, guys, let's wake up. Let's play some Dota.
Yeah, that could be it. That could just be the warm-up game they needed. I'm quite confused actually. If you have a look at that game, the Ricky had 8 assists, and yet their team only had 5 kills. Where did those other 3 kills come from?
I've seen this bug before. I think it's something to do with like a. I've seen it before happen with I think with Ricky. I don't know what causes it. Like I think I've seen a Reddit thread about, but I've seen something like this where you have like way more assists and the whole team has kills. And I'm not sure. It's something to do. I think it has to be something with sleeping dart or maybe he's getting Aegis pick off. I don't know. Like I don't get it. But
very confused. Well, Dota's filled with bugs. But well, it'll get changed eventually. But even still, that is first game down, guys. Game number 2 just going to be up about 10 minutes time. So don't go anywhere. More exciting Dota 2 ready to come up.